South Africa is looking to attract at least 15.7 million of tourists coming into the country by 2030. And we see the Tourism Business Leadership Council just today hosting the last day of this conference in the Northwest Province. This is where they've been discussing issues around impediments, issues around potential, venues or avenues of growth in terms of ensuring that we get the best out of the tourism sector where the economy is concerned. Today we saw the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Gayton, McKenzie, just giving an address here, an account really of the work that has been done by the sports department to ensure that they bring all of those all-important games into the province, into the country, to ensure at least that the tourism numbers also pick up from these developments. So we saw him also interacting and giving us a sense of where we are in our efforts to host the first ever F1 Grand Prix here in the country, and there's massive benefits to what we'll be seeing happening in the coming years. I'm going to bring into the conversation with us this afternoon Tumelo Silekani, who's joining us as the Managing Director of company Nelson Sports South Africa. And we saw you hosting the minister there, just a frank talk with him around how we can just fuse the two, bring sports, bring tourism, and ensure that they work for the economy. Good afternoon. Welcome to the SABC.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a great privilege and an honor to be obviously at this conference, to be able to get an opportunity to integrate and talk and immerse myself within the tourism industry. And obviously a burning question is, how does tourism as well as sports work together to obviously maximize and amplify the economy as it is right now? And there was part of a conversation that I had on stage. I obviously shared a presentation, shared numerous insights just in terms of how the tourism industry can leverage off of the strategies and the campaigns that are currently taking place within the sporting sector. So I think it was quite enlightening, and I look forward to all the prospects that are going to come out from the industry itself. But just to touch on the panel discussion or the interview that I had with Minister Gayton McKenzie, I think it was quite enlightening, very, very charismatic, as you know, the individual. He's quite interesting to talk to, and he essentially touched on a lot of things that we needed to go and discuss, such as sports development, the future of sports and the intersection of arts and culture within South Africa just moving forward. He announced and basically shared his plans around Project 300 and what that is going to offer. A lot of that obviously taps into South African schools, developing athletes at a school level, honing them and creating future athletes that we can take to Olympic events. And I think just beyond Olympic events, there are so many other opportunities that we can create for sports in South Africa so that we can become a globally recognized sporting spectacle. And again, being a globally recognized sporting spectacle means that we can attract global tourists, we can attract global investors, we can grow the sports economy, we can grow the tourism economy, and then we can amplify all the efforts, particularly around hosting events in South Africa as well.
Let's talk about the F1 Grand Prix. I mean, This is what a lot of people have been looking forward to. We know very well that the conversations were happening behind closed doors, yes. But the minister today taking us into confidence in terms of where we are. It looks like things are in an advanced stage, looking at really bringing it first time, South Africa, first time on the continent, and that is massive.
It is indeed massive. I really wish we had an opportunity to unpack, all the details and that announcement that it shared with us just in greater detail, because obviously there is a lot that comes to it. So I can imagine that him and his team are working tirelessly to bring it into SA, and I think just if you consider everything that it has to offer from an economic point of view, all the international exposure we're going to get, all the tourists that have to come into play, I think it is a massive, massive, massive opportunity. But without understanding the true intricate details of how we're going to bring this to life, it's very difficult to completely comment on. I think for me, off the bat, it's just about making sure that we've got the right people and the right systems and the right systems and tactics in place to essentially make ourselves ready for F1, be it from a track point of view, be it from a commercial point of view, making sure we've got the right agencies and people working on it so that we can deliver it in the exact same way that it is delivered all around the world. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how much more he has to share on that. And yes, of course, we can imagine that there'll be a lot of other people that will be collaborating and sharing their points of view. But I think what we need to do is look at it quite positively. It's trying to find out how can we, contribute to successfully executing and hosting F1 in South Africa. And that's also part of the point that Minister Gayton McKenzie was saying to the room over there. It was like, listen, if we bring it here, actually it's not even an if anymore, we've brought it here. So can you guys please come to me? You guys tell me, how do you think we can bring this to life? So I think it's very important for him to have the right group of people to be able to obviously direct this and lead this to where and what it needs to be.
You're excited about the future, especially you being in the sporting space, looking at how then we know very well that there's a massive potential in South Africa. Are you excited about the future? Are you seeing this relationship really more or less honed and just solidified going forward, so at least it comes through for both of these economies?
Yes, I'm quite excited for it, and particularly because I touched on something else, which was a topic around sports globalization. Because for me, what it actually means for us is that we are just unlocking South Africa to a whole new world of fans, a whole new world of audiences, a whole new world of visitors that are going to be coming into the country. And I think for me, it'll be great to see this expand into other sporting codes as well, and just to show the world that we are a great sporting nation. And so long as everything is done, all the checks and balances have been applied correctly, we've got so much to offer. So the prospects are very ambitious, but I think it's something that's great, and we should be looking forward to it. But again, it requires collaboration. It requires having the right people in the room. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what the minister has announced in terms of what's to come.
Awesome. Tumelo, thank you very much, sir, for your time. Let me release you to Tumelo Silikane, coming through there from Nelson Sports South Africa, and you hear them talking about their future, this relationship, and how then it will really be important and beneficial for the local economies and everybody else in both of these sectors, entertainment, sports, arts, culture, and tourism, that will look at capitalizing with all of these tourists that will be flocking into South Africa for this global major sporting events. Katlego Legodi for SABC News at Sun City in the